Before we get into the next 48 hours of how I've done over $5,000 on eBay, just in sales in the last 48 hours, here is everything that is getting listed for Thursday and Friday. Everything behind me is the stuff that I'm pretty sure we did on Wednesday, but you can see here's all the video games. Good amount of Pokemon games, 64 stuff. There's a N64 console, not a lot of consoles, but obviously a ton of complete in-box NES games. And over here is a lot of stuff that we listed on Thursday. Tons of RC car stuff that we pulled from our death pile. I know it might not look like a lot from the untrained eye, but this stuff is not cheap whatsoever. Tons of motors with ECUs, tons of batteries, lots of Traxxas stuff, chargers. These things go for good money alone. A lot of this stuff, to be honest, guys, is already sold. This stuff sells stupid fast. But yeah, I have other things to talk about regarding getting to a level like that and what it takes for the amount of things that need to be listed, what needs to be listed, and the price point they need to be listed at. It all revolves around like one main thing, and we'll cover it in today's video while we're pulling all the orders from yesterday up until today's morning. All right, fast forward, just finished this. I know this looks much better compared to what it was before. Before, it was just thrown in these bins, and this was DS, PSP, and Game Boy Advance, and then this one was everything else. It's color-coded. I mean, we didn't do it by, we didn't buy models, so lights with lights, so it goes pink, or coral pink, metallic pink, black, and it's blue up until this one. We have red, white, the random, like, special edition ones, like random, unique colors. Not a lot of 2DSs, so I kind of just slipped it in there. DSIs, colors. Original DSs by color, silver, blue. 3DSs, DSi XLs. And then over here, we have our SPs. I don't think we have any 101s. They sell pretty much fucking immediately. Game Boy Advances. Thought we had way more of these. We don't. PSPs, original Game Boys, Game Boy Colors, and Nintendo Switches. I thought we had way more colors. We have literally one Game Boy Color. So much better. I know you guys like this way more. This will just get binned. We'll probably slide it, kind of like how these ones are, where there's just a sliver of games. I moved the stuff that was here up to this shelf, and then we'll move it into here. See, I've already stored all these. We usually, before we come in here and actually ship, we'll put everything on the shelves first, because some of the stuff has sold that we're not like, oh, where the fuck is it? And in reality, it's been sitting here because we haven't stored it where it's supposed to go. So we'll move this, and then we'll actually start shipping finally. First one is Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver. Sold for 40 bucks. This one also was not sitting too long. Another easy one to look out for. We are looking for Super Mario Bros. Classic NES for the Game Boy Advance. And obviously it'll be in here. These cartridges are going to be gray, kind of like this one, how this one is more light gray compared to the traditional darker gray. So it makes it a little easier to find if there wasn't already so many cartridges to begin with. 20 minutes later, there it is. We found literally every single cartridge except for this one, but here it is. Again, this one sold for $26.95. All right, we sold the first of these two Traxxas batteries, 225 mAh and 1400. These are going to be in here. These are the first batteries that did sell. These are the smaller ones. Testing these is super easy. There's a little device over on the desk over there that I can show you in a moment that you pretty much plug it into, and it'll show the cell health and how many different cells there are. That way it's a lot easier when it comes to making the listing for them, because obviously I'm not necessarily savvy when it comes to RC cars, so it made it a lot easier for me. This is the little device I was talking about here. You plug the battery into this side and it will show. I can just show you guys. All right, so you have battery here, plugs in to this lights up, shows the voltage. So this is a 23 volt battery, so it'll have, this has somewhere on here 6 cells. So it'll have cells 1, 2, 3, 4, and cells 5 and 6. Super easy. And take a picture of that for the listing. That way the buyer knows how the health of the battery is when they buy it. Obviously, we mentioned that we don't really know the age of the batteries, so that kind of varies per battery. We've got the Grand Theft Auto trilogy for the PlayStation 2. It is all maps, all manuals. This one sold for 40 bucks. So Vice City, GTA 3, and San Andreas sold for 40 bucks. Again, it's really clean when you can bundle it. Greatest to the greatest hits, black label with black label, all maps, all manuals, definitely help. So this is it didn't sit for too long, so people are always looking for this trilogy set. Another RC sale. This one is the weight system. This is how people weigh the four corners of their car to see how much the whole thing weighs. So you can see they have the individual weights here. I haven't really just been plugged into one so I could store it, but the main thing is in there. It'll have a display on the front to show all the weights, and you'll just put each tire corner on the sets of these. This one sold for $49 or 50 bucks basically, really fast. Like this sold within an hour of it being listed. Again, probably undervalued it, but this RC shit, I'm into it for so cheap that I want to move it because, again, we sell video games, not RC cars, and I don't mind sitting on video games because I know there's a great exit route, which I will talk about later in the channel with why we mainly sell video games instead of just a bunch of just random stuff like this. We'll get to that in another video in the channel. Another RC sale. This one is a servo, which will be in here. Still learning all the different names and things of these, but going through and listing all of these really helped. This one comes with, I just said, additional gears. Again, sold ridiculously fast. This is brand BK Servo, model DSHHT. This one sold for $62, super fast. Again, might have been undervalued, might have been just right on the right time, but sold ridiculously fast. It just goes to show you these tiny things that literally fit in the palm of my hand still sell really fast. So you wouldn't really think about it, but this entire box right here full of just random stuff, if you didn't know any better, like here is another motor, that's 40 bucks. Another motor, this is a cheaper one, but you get the point. Like here's another one that's 50 bucks. These motor mounts are $50. So RC stuff, if you're looking for a niche to get into, is pretty solid if you have a decent community around you. Again, a lot of this stuff of what categories you should go into, I know I keep just talking about it, but eventually I'll make a breakdown video of the best things you can sell. So like, for example, if you live in the middle of nowhere, now, first of all, if you buy your stuff online, if you source your stuff online and it gets delivered to you, this is entirely irrelevant. Obviously, it doesn't matter where you live at that point. But if you live in the middle of nowhere, like maybe hunting gear or fishing related things, may be a lot easier for you to come by compared to video games or Pokemon cards or whatever. It might be a lot easier to find those fishing related things because it's more popular in, the country. If you live in a populated city, maybe selling hunting and fishing stuff isn't the best idea because you could get video games and Pokemon cards probably a lot easier because there's a hell of a lot more people. So again, if you buy stuff online and sell it online, it's irrelevant. But once you get to a point, obviously when you're starting off, you're probably going to be going to yard sales and flea markets and thrift stores and Facebook Marketplace trips, which Facebook Marketplace is extremely underrated for the most part. And the stuff on there, as long as you get your search, your search algorithm correct and it shows you stuff that you actually want to see, not random trash, that shit is crazy. We'll grab this Final Fantasy VII that sold for $27, I want to say. There's a few Final Fantasy VIIs. There's another one here. I believe it is this one. We'll check. But sometimes it isn't about you, it's about the business. So, I mean, depending on how serious you want to take this, obviously, my best piece of advice is to always try and be working towards sourcing your inventory on the internet because it just makes your life a way easier. Sold another one of the Wii lots or Wii games lot of 5. This sold to another one of our Amazon buddies. He always buys mainly this one in Wii Sports Resort. This set of 5 sold for $134, probably, I don't know what, $28 a disc, give or take. We can make a little more, a little less maybe. But again, super fast. These RC parts are selling like crazy. I didn't even realize these things would sell as fast as they did. We sold this Novak SS 5800 brushless Super Sport ESC as untested. Sold for $53.95. Again, we don't really know how to test it, especially when it's all hooked up like this. For certain things like the batteries, the guy we bought all the batteries and stuff from, he showed me how to test these. But for stuff like this, I really don't want to mess with because I don't want to hook it up to a high voltage thing and it ends up fucking frying the damn thing. So we'll leave it as it is, sell it as it is, and it sold for $53.95. I promise we sell video games. I feel like this entire video is us pulling RC car parts. But usually what we list the day before or day of ends up selling the most. This is a lot of 2. Power Play is an excellent brand. Some of the batteries, which I have some of the boxes here. Obviously, these ones are brand new. If I can find the boxes. Like you can see, Power Hobby, these brand new batteries, the LiPo batteries. I think this is a 14.8 volt, was retailing for $130. So Power Hobby is a great brand to look for. There's a lot of 2 to 12 cell sold for $34.95 really fast, like within the hour. So probably undervalued it again, but again, we're trying to move this stuff. Not every day that you get to pull a Nintendo Switch game that is valued at over 80 bucks. This one is, I believe it's this guy right here. Yep, this is Rocket Man, the Anniversary Collection for the Nintendo Switch. This is actually the Japanese one, but like you guys know, this is region free. This comes with the cartridge and the little paper inserts in there for the different characters. But this one sold for $80 exactly. We listed it for $89.99, took a best offer at $80, so we can still make our money on that. But again, it's not every day you see Switch games valued at this high. Sold one of our new Switch games, Donkey Kong Country Tropical Freeze, which is somewhere in here, right there. These are all the new Switch games that we listed yesterday, so they're already all in the store now. But this one sold for $32.95, so a really fast sale with a really good sale price. Got a higher end disc only. We're looking for, this is gonna take a second to find. Looking for Punch Out for the Wii. A complete in box Punch Out for the Wii is like a $50 to $55 game. Loose, we sold this one for $35.95. So it's a first party Nintendo game that is always selling. Looking for, not that, this right here, Sega Dreamcast, the Seaman. This is the Japanese one. This sold for $70. I'm pretty sure it is over here on this bin. I don't remember because this has, yeah, right here. So we picked this up on Whatnot for, I think, like 30 bucks. So usually when there's Japanese games on Whatnot, they don't go for very much. This one's fully complete. And the Seaman for the Dreamcast regular is already expensive. So I knew this one had to have some value. This one sold for $70.16. Pulling El Shadid for the PlayStation 3. Not every day we get to pull a PS3 game. Like, we really don't sell a lot of PS3 games, to be honest. This is a, especially ones of this value. This one sold for, I want to say $49.99. This is another JRPG. No, $52.95. This one's complete, really clean. The Japanese version of this game goes for way less, like $13. So this is a great one to look out for. It's been a little bit, sort of, since we've sold a Pokemon card. This is Gyarados EX for $65. Really nice shape. Or not really nice shape, sorry. This is moderate play. So MP, you can see here, we have this listed as MP, which is moderate play. LP is light play, and then NM is near mint. So moderate play is, now it obviously has somewhere, you can see some wear on the corners right there, and a little bit of whitening, but still sells for good money. 65 bucks, free shipping. And the last one that we're going to pull before we ship the orders from this morning is Ed, Edd and Eddy, the Misadventure for the GameCube. This one always sells pretty quick, to be honest. We had multiple copies of this, and I think this is our last one. Yeah, last one here. This one's no manual. Good shape disc, sold for $34. Here's a black label. This is always a good one to look out for. Disc only is like $23, $25. So last one of this, and then we are going to package the order that we got from last night up until this morning, which is like 27, and then we'll get to work on doing some of this. And I also want to make one video about one key tip that people are missing out on when it comes to listing their items, or one key tip that is really important from flipping your sales from here all the way up to here. And I know that's extremely cliche about saying, oh, there's one trick, but I mean, it's really not as complicated as you guys think it is. Obviously, I have the experience and you guys are watching to learn, so please take the advice and at least try it. I mean, if it doesn't work for your store, then whatever. What worked for me won't work for you, but sometimes it will, especially when we're dealing with algorithm type situations. All right, we're at 172 bucks. This is 26 total orders, I'm pretty sure. So I think we have like 3 or 4 of them that are FedEx. No UPS. As always, these Pokemon Coliseum and Pokemon XD Gale of Darkness games never sit, especially if they're priced relatively competitively. This one sold again for $98. in probably, I think it was about 2 days. So a really fast turnaround time. Looking for a Game Boy Advance SP. Last 3 is 977. So I get to utilize the new little bins that we made. Even though it's still dark as all fuck, and I still can't even tell which one is blue. 977. This one sold for, I think it was 79 or 69. 71 because the RB button does not work no matter how hard you press it. So somebody will fix that up and then it'll be good to go. So $71. That's a pretty good one for one that's considered for parts. This is in our sealed goodies bin. This one is brand new. It sold for $107.96 again. This was listed forever. I wouldn't buy this again. I don't even remember what I was into this at. I'm sure I'd made money on it because I didn't take a best offer. But brand new factory sealed Castlevania. Castlevanias alone for the DS are always a good one, so look out for it. Here's Resident Evil 5 Xbox 360 that we were talking about earlier that we're going to ship. This is the 120 gigabyte, the original one that came with it. This comes with the cords, the power cord, the HDMI, the controller, and it's sold for $125.96, relatively quick. I would say it sold for around like 5 days of being listed. When I brought in all that stuff, it's like when I brought in the collector's editions and the actual complete unboxed version of this is when this got listed. So very fast turnaround time for a console. So that's pretty much all of the orders that we had to actually package and fulfill. Obviously, I didn't show every single one. Otherwise, we would have been here forever doing a 50-minute video showing all the $20 sales. I mean, we skipped ones that were large as well. I can't film every single order. It would take eternity. So all in all, we have this sack halfway full. I was gonna move them in there so we can fit them in the truck a little better. This bin entirely full. All of these boxes, there's some boxes hidden back there. There's some more boxes here, and there's another little tiny stack of boxes hidden behind there. So all in all, I think it's about 75 different packages across poly mailers to boxes. So within a day and a half, 75 different orders. Not bad, but we always want to do better. So I appreciate you guys watching the video. Make sure to subscribe, and I will see you guys in the video when I'm driving my way home talking about It's You, not eBay. See you guys then.